Assignment problem, you gave a solution. I mean, you gave a question actually, which was not optimal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was not optimal. Okay.
Yeah.
That was not optimal. Can you give me that problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1379.
Reflection here.
Yeah, there's a reflection, sir.
It's not visible yet. Now is it okay?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Right.
137.
Is it visible?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, sir.
9, 8. 9,
13798.
One second. Give me a moment.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Next row, 983.
Okay.
41. 387. 65. 278. 64. 649. 26. That's it, sir.
Okay, this is the problem. Okay, so we will first do the row deduction. Okay, so what is the first step? Row deduction. All right. Okay. So least value, which is the least value? One is the least value. Okay. So I will deduct 1 from there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So it will be 0, 2,
6, 8, 7.
Got it? Right? In the second row, again, 1 is the least. So it will be 8, 7,
2, 3, 0.
3, 0. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the third row, you have 3 as the least value.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So it will be 0, 5, 4, 3,
2.
All right.
Next row is 2.
2 is the least.
2 is the least.
0,
0, 5, 6,
4, 2. Last second, 2 is
Okay.
the least.
2 is the least class.
All right. Next row.
2 is the least. 4.
If somebody is working, please put themselves on mute. Okay. All right. All right. So next row it will be 4, 2, 7, 0, 4. All of you have got this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you have got this. So this is after the row deduction. First one is the row deduction. See, I request you all to make sure that sharp 9:30 everybody is there in the room. Okay, it's a request. See, people are coming at 9:45. So this is disturbing the class. Okay. See, please maintain the time. It is very, very essential. Okay. If you are not able to maintain the time, you can't be in management. Okay. So that is what is row deduction. So row deduction, first you will take the least value and then you will get this matrix. This is the first step. As soon as you get this matrix, you should not go back to this matrix. You should work only with this matrix. Okay. Now, after row deduction, you have something called as the column deduction, right? In the column deduction, you go column wise. Okay. You go column wise and see which is the least value. Now, if you see in the first column, you have 0.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just listen. Okay. So when you have the 0 in the first column, the column does not change. Okay, the value remains as it is. The value remains as it is. So what I am going to do, I am going to put the value. I am going to put the value as it is.
Once again about row deduction, sir.
Sorry. Can you
He's
come again?
asking to explain the row deduction again, sir.
Row deduction is very simple. For each row, you take the. For each row, you take the least value and subtract that least value from all the elements in that particular row. Okay, so that is how you get this matrix. Okay, once you get this matrix, you have to take this matrix only for the column deduction. Okay, right? So that is how it works. Now let me take the column deduction. The least value here is 0. So the column remains the same. So it will be 0, 8, 0, 0, 4. All right. Now, in this row, in this column, the least value is 2. Okay. So the least value is 2. So I am going to deduct 2 from all the other elements. Minus 2, 0, 5, 3, 0. Okay. All right. Now,
Yes, sir.
go to the third column. Here 2 is the
Again,
least
2.
value. 2 is the least value. So it will be 4, 0, 2,
0, 2, 4, 5.
That's okay. You need not have to repeat it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just listen. Right? So here 2 is the least value. Okay, the meeting is full. Please tell your friends to join the YouTube live. Okay, I've already given you the link. It is streaming live. Okay. If somebody wants the link, I can just share it 1 second. Please post this.
So even after finishing this class, can we see the same YouTube again?
I'm recording it.
Okay, sir. Then thank you, sir.
I'm recording. So the session is being recorded. So maybe you can see it later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Maybe I can present my screen so you can. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that will be the third column deduction. So I am selecting 2 as the least value. So I am deducting that. Then you go to the fourth column. In the fourth column, there is a 0. So the column remains as it is. So it will be 8, 3, 3, 4, 0. So it remains as it is. Wherever there is a 0, the column remains as it is. Okay. Right. Go to the fifth column. In the fifth column also there is a 0. So the column again does not change. It remains as it is. Okay. So it will be 7, 0, 2, 2, 4. All right. So this is row deduction. Okay. Right. So this is row deduction. This is column deduction. Okay. Now what I hear some kids and all playing. Please, we are taking lot of efforts, okay, to ensure that you people get the knowledge. Okay, I may not have to spend 9,000 to set up this. Okay, right? So please cooperate with me, right? So column deduction is done. After you do the column deduction, you have something called as the assigning zeros. That is the third. That is the third step, assigning zeros. Okay. So how do you assign zeros? Very simple. I said go from left to right. The standard procedure says go from left to right. Okay. And when you encounter the first zero, put a box. That whenever you put a zero in the box, that is called as assigned zero. Okay. And then you see whichever zeros are there in that corresponding in that same row and the corresponding column. Okay. And strike off if there are any other zeros. Do the same procedure for all the rows. Okay. So this is the standard procedure. Okay. Now, let me assign the zeros and see what happens. So, this is the first row. When I encounter the first zero, I will put a box. So, I move like this from left to right. I move like this from left to right. Okay. So, when I'm encountering the first zero, I put a box there. Any other zeros in that row, I cross it. Any other zeros in that row, I cross it. So I've crossed it here, right? Any other zeros in the corresponding column, that also I cross it. So there is a zero here, I cross. There is a zero, I cross here. Okay. So do the same thing for all the. So do the same thing for all the rows. Okay. So now I go to this row. When I encounter this zero, I put a box. Any other zero, yes, I cancel it. Any other zero, no. I come here, there is no zero. Okay, I come here, there is no zero. All right. Okay. I come here. I encounter the first zero. Any other zeros in that column? No. Any other zeros are there? Yes. So strike off. Understood this step?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you see here. Sometimes what we have to do is you should not just follow the standard procedure. Okay. You have to do some permutation. You have to do some permutation and combination. You have to do some permutation and combination to see is there any other possibility? Is there any other possibility of getting more number of assigned zeros? So what do you do? Very simple. Listen to the procedure. You can take it down later. Once you understand the procedure, then it is very simple. Okay. Listen up. See here. Now, in the first row, there are two zeros, correct? There are two zeros. If I put a box here, listen, first you listen. If I put a box here, okay, two zeros are getting cancelled. Okay, two zeros are getting cancelled. So I have to apply some permutation and combination and see, is there any other combination which will increase my chances of getting another zero? Okay, right? So what you need to do? Very simple. So there is a zero here. Okay, there is a zero here. There is a zero here. Okay, right? So you cancel these two. Now you remove everything. Now you see here, what you need to do. What you need to do is, I told you in the standard procedure, when you encounter the first zero, put a box and strike off the remaining zeros. Now I'm doing some permutation and combination. So how do I do that? Instead of marking, if I put a box here, these two zeros are getting cancelled. I don't want, because I want more number of assigned zeros. So what I do, instead of putting the box here, I put a box here. Then I see, is there any other zero? No. Is there any other zero? Yes, strike off. Is there any other zero? Yes, there is, strike off. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Yes, sir. Repeat the step once again, sir.
நான் வந்து first stepல வந்து இந்த zero mark பண்ணேன். Correct? According to the standard procedure, I mark this zero. If I put a box here, these two zeros are getting cancelled. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But I want more. But I want more number of zeros. More number of assigned zeros. So what I do, I will just check. If I put a box here, I will be saving these two, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only one zero is getting cancelled. If I put a box here, two zeros are getting cancelled. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I am putting a box here. I see I cancel this zero. Then there is no other zeros here. Now I am coming to the second row. In the second row, what I do, when I encounter the first zero, I put a box here. This is favorable because if I put a box here, there is no, okay, right. It doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. So I put this, I cancel this. I put this, I cancel this. Okay. Now, next, in this row, what I do, since I don't have a box here, I can mark this box, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Then is there any other zero? No. Is there any other zero? Cancel. Cancel. Okay. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you see, in this row, this is cancelled. There is a zero here. So you mark it here. There is no other zero there or here. So you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4. In the case one, you got only 3 assigned zero, correct?
Yes, sir.
Whereas in case two, you got 4 assigned zero, which is better.
Case 2.
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is better. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do some permutation and combination and I am overriding the standard procedure. Okay. Just to make things easier. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You get my point. Just to make things easier, I am overriding this particular procedure.
Okay, sir.
Is anybody listening through YouTube?
No.
No, sir.
I heard some yes. Is it streaming? Okay.
Stream ஆயிட்டு தான் சார் இருக்கு.
Sorry?
Streaming, sir.
Stream ஆயிட்டு தான் சார் இருக்கு. Yes, mirrored
Okay,
versionல
okay.
வருது.
Sorry?
Mirrored versionல வருது சார்.
And we're done.
மிரர்ல வருதா? புரியல எனக்கு. என்னது இது?
அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் போர்டு ரிவர்ஸ்ல இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கு சார்.
போர்ட் ரிவர்ஸ்ல இருக்கா?
யூடியூப்ல மட்டும். மீட்ல
Sir,
கரெக்ட்டா
நீங்க
இருக்கு.
இந்த இது பண்ணுங்க சார்.
And writing. Okay.
Here, it's there. There on the top. Okay, right? Budget channel. Okay. Suma, I started with some small amount of money which I had. Okay. Right? Okay. So you are getting the point. So what I do is I do some permutation and combination and I try to increase the number of assigned zero. I try to increase the number of assigned zero so that It will be easier for me to solve the problem. So in the case 1, I had only 3 assigned 0. So in case 2, I have 4 assigned 0. So it is much better. Okay. Now, I will take this and continue further. I will take this and continue further. Okay. So what do I do? Very, very simple. What do I do? Very, very simple. Now you see here, the number of assigned 0. The number of assigned 0 is not equal to the size of the matrix. The number of assigned 0 is not equal to the size of the matrix. So I say that the particular matrix is not optimal. Is not optimal. So how do I make it to optimal, or how can I make it to 5 assigned 0? So it is very, very important. This is the procedure which you have to follow, where most of the students commit mistake. Okay. So please listen to this procedure carefully. Okay. Now you see here. What you need to do. What you need to do is very, very simple. Mark first step. Mark, okay, all rows. Mark all. Okay, mark all rows. Okay, that does not have assigned 0. That is the first step. Mark all the rows that does not have assigned 0. Now, this is the first row. I have an assigned 0. Will I mark here?
No, sir.
No. Now I have the second row. I have an assigned 0 here. Will I mark? No.
No.
There is an assigned 0 here. Will I mark? No.
No.
Now here there is a row. There is no assigned 0. So I mark this row.
Okay, sir.
That is the first step. Mark all the rows that does not have assigned 0. Mark all the rows that does not have assigned 0. Very, very important. Okay. Right. That's the first step. Second step. Mark. Listen to this step. Mark all the columns. Mark all the columns where zeros. Zeros are cancelled.
Okay, sir.
Okay. In the marked row. Very, very important. In the marked row. So, mark all the columns where zeros are cancelled in the marked row. Now you see here, this is the marked row. This is the marked row. I see where the zeros are cancelled. You have to mark that column. You see here, this is marked. In this row, this 0 is cancelled. Mark that column.
Okay, sir.
Right? Getting the concept?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right? Now, in the marked column, okay, in the marked column, you see in the marked column, are there any assigned 0? That is this. You see in the marked column, is there any assigned 0?
Yes, sir.
If it's there, mark that row. If it's there, mark that row. Now you see in the marked column, are there any assigned 0? Yes, there is. If it is there, mark that row. So I have marked that row. This is the third step. Okay.
Okay.
Fourth step. Listen carefully. Okay. I am not going to explain again and again because there's no time. Okay. So in the mark column, you see, are there any other assigned 0? If it's there, mark that row, done. Okay. Then fourth, draw, okay, straight lines through unmarked row and marked columns. Okay, draw straight lines through unmarked rows and marked columns. So what I do is draw straight lines through unmarked rows. Now this row is unmarked, so I am going to put a straight line. Okay, this row is unmarked, so I am going to put a straight line. Okay, these two rows are marked. This row is not marked, so I draw a straight line here and marked columns. So this is the marked column. The remaining columns are not marked, so I strike off. Now I always used to say that whenever we do some procedure, we have to see whether our procedure is right or wrong. Okay, you can check it at any point of time. So what I am trying to say is, if the procedure is correct, all the zeros will be passed by a straight line. Now you see here in the entire matrix, all the zeros will be cancelled through a straight line. Now you see there is a 0 here, there is a line, there is a 0 here, there is a line, 0, 0, straight line, 0, there is a line, 0, line, 0, there is a line. If you see the remaining elements, it will not have any zeros. Very, very important. If you have done the procedure correctly, whatever elements are here, where there is no straight line, it will not have any zeros. These elements are called as uncovered elements. These elements, whatever you are seeing here, these elements, these are all called as uncovered elements. And whatever elements the lines are passing, these are all called as the covered elements. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Who has not understood the procedure?
Once again, repeat, sir.
No. What is that? What? Sri Nisha says, no, I have not understood. You have not understood the procedure. Okay. Let's read. Mark all the rows that does not have assigned 0. Okay. So here there is, so I don't mark. Here there is, I don't mark. Here there is, I don't mark. Okay. This is the second step. Here I don't have any zeros, so I mark this. So this is the first one. So this is the first step. Here there is, so I don't mark anything. Okay. All right. Next step. Mark all the columns where the zeros are cancelled in the marked row. This is the marked row. Here I find that the 0 is cancelled, so I mark. So this is the second step. This is the second step. You can all mute yourself. Okay. Right? Okay. Next, in the marked column, are there any assigned 0? If there is, then mark that row. So this is the marked column. In the marked column, you see, are there any assigned 0? Yes, there is. So I mark this. So this will be the third step. Correct? Understanding? Okay. Then draw straight lines through unmarked rows and marked columns. So all the rows are unmarked. Whichever is unmarked, so you draw the straight line. Whichever is marked in the column, so you draw the straight line. So remaining elements are here. Understood? Do not delete the text and take photos and send to us, please. I don't understand what this is.
No, the right. I mean, you have started the procedure, right, sir? That procedure he wants is a photo and to share it in WhatsApp.
Okay, you want the procedure? Okay.
அது delete பண்ணக்கூடாதான் அவ்வளவுதான்.
Yes, sir, forward பண்ணியாச்சு.
Okay, right. So this is what is the procedure. So in the mark column, are there any assigned 0? If it is there, mark that row. Draw straight lines through unmarked rows and mark the column. This is the procedure. Okay, this is the procedure, very, very important, which they will ask in the examination. So yeah, definitely in the examination, your matrix will not be optimal. They will purposely ask you this procedure to know whether you people know the procedure or not. Okay, right? So next, what do you do? Very, very simple. I want to make the matrix optimal. Okay. So what do I do? Very, very simple. Okay. Right. Now, what do I do? These are all called as the uncovered elements. These are all called as the covered elements. Now, the step continues. What is the next step? The next step is see the least value in the uncovered elements. Okay, which is the least value in the uncovered elements? Now, if you see here, 2 is the least. So, which is the least value in the uncovered elements? So, 2 is the least value. Okay, subtract this value. Subtract this value from all the uncovered elements and add this value. Add this value, okay, to the intersecting elements and keep the remaining elements as it is. So forgive me for the handwriting. I am not interested to write neatly because save time. So see the least value in the uncovered elements, subtract this value from all the uncovered elements, okay, and add this value to the intersecting element. What is this intersecting element? Very, very simple. Wherever the lines are passing in the matrix, two lines are crossing each other. This is called as the intersecting element. Okay, sir. This is called as the intersecting element. Now if you see in this matrix, this is intersecting, and this is intersecting. Okay.
Once again, sir.
Wherever two lines are passing in that matrix, okay, wherever two lines are crossing each other. Now you see here, this is one line which is crossing, okay, and this is one line which is crossing. Where is it crossing? Here. Okay, and then you see there is one more line which is coming here, one more line which is coming here. So this, and here there is one line here and there's one line here. So this is the intersecting elements. So the intersecting elements here are 0, 8 and 4 in this matrix.
Okay, sir.
Understand?
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
Who has right? Okay. Further, moving ahead further. Okay. Now, moving ahead further, what you need to do that procedure. Do that procedure. Now, this is the least value. This is the least value. What I am going to do, this is the intersecting element. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Okay. This all remains the same. 0, 4, 8, 7. Put a box.
Sir.
Sorry. Put a...
So 1 minute, sir. Least value among both the rows, right?
Least value in the uncovered elements, you said.
Correct.
Subtract the
that is
least.
Where is the row? Wait. I have not said any row or column. You see, overall, in all the uncovered elements, whichever is the least value, select it.
Okay, sir. Got it.
You should listen properly first. I have not mentioned any row or column. Okay. Right? Okay, see here. Now, this is the uncovered elements. In this, I am selecting the list. It can be this or it can be this, your wish. Okay. Right? So, any one. So, what I am going to do, this is the intersecting element. So, it will be 2, 0, 4, 8, 7. Again, this is the intersecting element. So, it will be 10, okay, 5, okay, 0, 3, 0. The remaining elements are as it is. Okay. Then, here, this is passing through the straight line. So, this will be 0. Now, these are all uncovered elements. So, I have to subtract. So, 3 minus 2 is what? 1. 2 minus 2, 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. Next, come here. This 0 as it is. Okay. Now, again, uncovered elements. Least value is 2. So, I am subtracting it. 3 minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. Now, here I have the intersecting element. So, I have to add that least value. 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. 0. 5. 0. 4. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Understood. Don't delete the text. Okay. Right. Okay.
One second.
Right. So next, what you... 1 second. Over.
Sir, again, please explain it, sir, please. It's confusing.
You want to explain?
Yeah.
This intersecting element. Okay. Least element is 2. So, that's one thing add pandra. 2. The remaining, these are all covered. So, these are all called as covered elements. So, I am not doing any modification there. So, what I do, I directly write the elements 0, 4, 8, 7, 0, 4, 8, 7. Then here again 2 lines are passing. So this is 8. So the least element is 2. Since it's intersecting element, I'm going to add it. So it will be 8 plus 2, 10. Remaining elements as it is. 5, 0, 3, 0. 5, 0, 3, 0 as it is. Okay. Then this is covered. As it is 0. These are all uncovered. So whatever is the least value, I subtract. 3 minus 2, 1. 2 minus 2, 0. 3 minus 2, 1. 2 minus 2, 0. Okay. Now, this is again covered as it is. This is uncovered. So, 3 minus 2 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. This is again intersecting element. So, I have to add the least value. 4 plus 2 is 6. 0, 5, 0, 4. These are all covered elements as it is. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I do is, for this matrix, I put the assigning zeros. So how do I do the assigning zeros? Again, you start, okay, from left to right. I get the first 0, no. any other 0, strike it off. I come here, first 0, any other 0, strike it off. Any other 0, strike it off. Come to the third matrix, done. Any other 0, strike it off. Any other zeros in the column, strike it. Any other 0, yes. Any other 0, no. Come here, first 0, any other 0, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the size of the matrix? 5 cross 5. What is the number of assigned 0? 0.
5.
So it's optimal. Read that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right? You can also try different combination. Instead of, if you don't get that, if you don't, in case if you don't get even in this, apply the same procedure.
Okay.
You should keep on doing the procedure unless and until you get the number of assigned zeros equal to the size of the matrix. So you can do some permutation and combination. First 0 is here, any other 0, no. Here, instead of this, you have two options. Instead of this, you can mark this. If I mark this 1, 2 zeros are going. If I mark this, only 1 0 is going. So don't mark this. This is how you have to do the permutation and combination. You get the point? So this is called as the table of optimal assignments. This is called as the table of optimal assignments. Now, what you need to do is very simple. We have reached the end, okay, of this problem. Okay, so what you need to do is very, very simple. You have to see what was this? This was jobs. Okay, J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, and these were machines. So it will be M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. So optimal assignments. What are the optimal assignments? J1 you are putting it to machine 2, J2 you are putting it to machine 3, J3 you are putting it to machine 1, J4 you are putting it to machine 5, and J5 you are putting it to machine 4. Okay. Now go to the actual problem. And see what are the values which is present here. Can anybody tell me the values?
3. 3. 3. 3 threes.
3, 7, 3, 4, 2. It's 19.
Correct?
Sir.
So totally 3, 6, 7, 13, 13, 17, 19. 19 rupees is the TASC. That is called as the total assignment cost.
There's a hold on, sir. 3, 3. So first is 3, second is also 3,
Second is 3.
third is also 3,
3.
fourth is fourth row is also 4, and last will be again 2.
2.
Now this is correct.
Yes, sir. This is perfect.
Yes, sir.
So can you just repeat the final answer once? This 3, 3.
So T is 15, right?
15, sir.
Somebody is talking.
15.
Yeah, that's what I've written. 15 only I've written.
Yeah, sir, you have written 15, but there was some confusion earlier. Like, there was some, numbers got changed.
Whatever values you told me only, I wrote that.
No.
If
It's
you
not
do a
like that.
mistake,
Not like that. If somebody else had told, so I just had a reconfirmation of the same.
okay, right. So that is what is the total assignment cost. This will give you 10 marks.
10 marks, sir, is it?
See, you can finish this problem in close to 6 minutes. 6 minutes is the 6 minutes is the time duration which you have to take for assignment problem. For simplex method, it is going to be roughly around 17 minutes. That is the average time for a simplex method. If you take this, decision making, or if you take Word CPM, that is going to be roughly around 12 minutes. So you can finish the entire paper. You can finish the entire paper in 2 hours and 43 to 47 minutes. 2 hours, 47 minutes. You can finish the full paper. But I see that people are not even finishing half of the paper with the choices what they have given. Okay. So I don't know, right? So full paper can be finished in almost 2 hours and 45 minutes with 15 minutes grace time. Okay. So you need to please understand what is the maximum time you have to give to each problem. Okay. So this comes through practice. You need to keep on practicing problems. I have also shared one textbook. Okay. So you can go through that particular textbook and get the problems. If you have any doubts, you can reach out. Okay.
Sir, instead of
Forgive me for
textbook, you can do some sums also, no, sir, for us, for examples. We can practice more.
Sorry.
Instead of textbook, you can give some sums for us to practice, no, sir. Example.
Ma, this is not school, ma. See, you're all postgraduate people. Okay. You have to open nobody is going to put a milk with a straw and give it to you. Okay. Sir, screen not clear. Screen not clear. Okay. Now is it okay? Now is
YouTube
it okay?
is clear, sir. YouTube is perfect. It's clear.
Okay, YouTube is perfect. Okay, sorry.
Sir, actually, speed கம்மியா இருக்கான்னு தெரியல, ஸ்லோவா இருக்கு.
So wherever it is streaming at the first platform, that will always be a bit faster, right? So that's what I am telling. See, you have to take up books. You have to solve the problems. Okay, it is not I give the problems. See, you can take any problem and solve it then and there. See, you have given a problem, and those problems are only being solved. You can only sit. You need not even need a textbook. You can only take some problem and see whether am I able to solve the problem or not. Nobody is going to come and give you the problems like a teacher. Okay. Right.
Okay,
so
sir.
All that will happen. All that will happen only in school. Okay. Teacher will give homework and eventually we never do. Okay. So it is according to your interest. Okay. Right. So this is how the assignment problem works. Right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. So now what we will do is we will take up game theory. 10:28. Okay, no problem. Or theory of games. Okay, right. So first things first, you need to know what is a game. So what is a game? Can anyone tell me what's a game?
game is either losing or winning.
Hello, am I audible? I'm audible.
Event in which players practice to win.
Okay. It is any event. Okay. It is an event. Okay. Or an activity. Okay. Played between people with an intention. I'll tell you, with an intention to win. Okay. By using various strategy. Okay. Right. So it's an event or an activity which is played between people with an intention to win using various strategies. Okay. Right. So this is the first thing you have to remember. So the first thing you have to remember is what is a game. So this is the definition, or this is the way in which it has to be described. So you will be having some theory parts also. So whenever they are asking you some particular question, so you please answer it to the point. Okay. So please don't write stories. I have seen people writing 40 pages and they are not getting even 2-3 marks. So that is really, it's just for the sake of writing the examination they have done. Okay. So don't do that. So this is what is the definition of a game. A game is an activity or an event which is played between people with an intention to win by using various strategies. Perfect. Okay. Right. Okay. Next. I will tell you something. Next, I will tell you. You need to know what is the difference. You need to know what is the difference between a strategy and states of nature. You need to know what is the difference between a strategy and the states of nature. Very, very simple. I'll give you an example so you will understand the definition or the concept better. Okay. Now let me say there is a player A. Okay, he has 2 strategy. Okay, and then there is player 2, player B. Okay, with 2 strategy. Okay, I'll give some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So all these are called as your payoff. Payoffs is otherwise called as outcomes. Okay, so payoffs is otherwise called as outcome, which means to say if I use some particular strategy, what is going to be my outcome? So that is what is payoff. Okay, right? Now, what is the difference between a strategy and a state of nature? Strategy is basically called as a game plan. Okay, it's a game plan which you adopt, which you improvise with an intention to win the game. See, nobody is playing a game with an intention to lose the game. Okay, we all play the game with an intention to win it. Okay, and we have to win it with the least possible effort and time and effort. So that is what I am trying to say. So you are going to use different strategies. Now the concept here is very, very simple. Now player A is adopting 2 strategies. Player A is adopting 2 strategies, which will be this strategy 1 and strategy 2, whichever is being adopted by player A, it is going to be the states of nature for player B. Understand this.
Okay,
Understand this. Okay, right? So what I'm trying to say here is whatever strategy is being adopted by player A is going to be the states of nature for player B. What is the meaning of that? Whenever player A is adopting some strategy, the player B, okay, has to overcome. It is stopping player B from winning. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
whenever player A is adopting some strategy, it is stopping player B from winning. In the same way, whenever player B is adopting some strategy, those two strategies are called as states of nature for player A, because the strategy which is being adopted by player B is stopping player A from winning.
Got it, sir.
Okay, right? So that is the difference between strategy. Yeah, any doubt?
Ashwin couldn't understand, sir.
So once more
Supposing I
starting
play a game. Okay, right. So what I am trying to say is there is a player A, strategy 1, strategy 2, player B, strategy 1, strategy 2. So these are called as the payoffs. Payoffs is also called as the outcome. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say here is whatever strategy player A adopts, this is stopping player B from winning. Okay. So when somebody is stopping you from winning, that particular player B, it will be states of nature. It will be states of nature for player B. In the same way, player B has some strategy. These strategies are stopping player A from winning. Okay. So these two strategies are called as states of nature for player A. It's reverse. Understood?
Yes, sir.
என்ன காணாம போயிட்டாரு அவரு?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Understood. Okay, right. I got the chat box. Okay, right. So this is one thing which you should know. The third concept, what you should know. The third concept, what you should know is which type of games are being played in the syllabus. Okay, in the syllabus you have only one type, and that is called as the two-player zero-sum game. I will explain that also. What is that? Okay. Explain what is that. Okay. So first type, the type is two-player. Two-player zero-sum game. Okay, right? Two-player zero-sum game. There'll be a lot of information which is given in the books, which is okay. There are separate classes going on in the chat box. Okay. So two-player zero-sum game. You have lengthy explanation which is given, which is of no use. Okay. Eventually you don't understand anything. I will tell the concept in one line. Remember, two-player zero-sum game. So how many players are there? Two-player. So this is gone. Okay. What is zero-sum? Zero-sum means very simple. The profit of one player Okay, the profit of one player is exactly equal to the loss of the other player. And where are they playing? They're playing a game. Finished. Over. Concept. So what is 2-player zero-sum game? A 2-player zero-sum game is nothing but it's a game played by two people wherein the loss or profit, okay, of one player is equal to the loss of the other player. Okay, loss of the other player. So if you take the profit minus loss, it will always be equal to 0. Now I will give a concept. So there are two players. Okay, so there are two players, A and B. Okay, so they are playing a game. Now supposing player A loses 200. So what will be the gain of player? It will be plus 200. So when you add both, so it will be 0. So the loss will be equal to the profit. That is how it is.
Got it, sir.
Okay, right? So that is the type which you have. Okay, 2-player zero-sum game. Profit of one player is equal to the loss of the other player. So this is. You can mute your mics, please. Okay, right? Okay.
Sir, it is
Now there are some methods.
one player or profit of one player, sir?
Sorry.
It is only the profit of one player or profit or loss of one player is equal to loss of other players?
Either way, see, it's very simple. See here, player A, okay, player B. Now what is happening here? Very, very simple. I said player A loses 200. Okay, so it will be the gain of player B. There is an instance in the next game where the player A wins. So it will be plus 100. So this will be minus 100. So eventually the outcome will always be 0. Understanding?
Yes, sir.
It is not that player A will always lose, or it is not that player B will always win.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that is what. Yeah, from the first minute, you are very much attentive and concentrate in my class. Who is this?
Sweta.
Shweta. Okay. Shweta. Why sorry, ma?
ரொம்ப question கேக்குறேன்.
It's a good. No, hey, that is the basic thing. You should ask questions. Only then you will come to know.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You will come to know the concepts only if you. Seri, அப்புறமா pair பண்ணு. Okay, right. So it's very, very simple. So that is the first 3 concepts. Very, very important.
இப்படிதான் நான் போன மொக்க வாங்கினேன்.
Seri, right. Okay. So those are the concepts. First, how do you define a game? Second, what is the states of nature, and what is the difference between a strategy and states of nature? Okay, right. Okay. So, all right. So that is how it is. So next concept is you need to know what are the different methods. You need to know what are the different methods which is used to solve the game. Hey, yaar ade? I'll remove them from the meeting now. ஒரு வாட்டி சொன்னா புரியாதா? உங்க மெசேஜ் எல்லாம் உங்க வேற எங்கேயாச்சும் வச்சுக்கோங்க. தட் அதர் பர்சனல் எத்திக்ஸ் திட்டக்கூடாதுன்னு பாக்குறேன். ஓகே, ரைட். So if you want to text, you please leave the classroom and text. I can also take one paper, read it and go. I don't like to do that. I have certain commitments. I have certain levels to do the class. Okay, thank you so much. Now, what are the different types, okay, or methods to solve the game? So how do you solve the game? Very, very simple. There are three methods. So what are the three methods? First one is called as algebraic method. Okay. Second one is called as graphical method. Okay. And third one is called as dominance property. Okay, so these are the three methods. This particular method is also called as calculus method. So if you get it as calculus method in the examination, it's the first method, okay? Or it can also be called as the algebraic method.
Good morning, sir.
Either ways, you should be good morning. Already I finished 1.5 hours. Okay. Calculus method and algebraic method. So any two methods, it can be called by other names. So calculus method is also called as algebraic method. Then you have graphical method and you have dominance property. So dominance property is split up into two things. One is rows, other one is column. Okay, so what is dominance property for row? What is dominance property for column? This you should know. Okay, right? So first we will see when, where, how these methods are applicable. Okay, if you take the method, if you take the algebraic method or calculus method, remember, very, very important, this particular method can be applied. Only for a 2x2 matrix. If the matrix is greater or higher, okay, higher than 2x2 matrix, I cannot use this method. I cannot use this method if the size of the matrix is greater than 2x2. Yeah, so if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, I can use this method. If it is 5, 6, okay, so I can't use it. All right. So this particular method can be used only when the size of the matrix is 2x2. Okay. Next, graphical method. This again has two types. One is 2x2 and 2x(n). Okay. So what is this? Very, very simple. See here. M is nothing but number of rows. Okay. And n is nothing but number of columns. Okay. And in your school, your teacher would have told you that size of the matrix is always m cross n. I have gone through this particular paper for the valuation. I have seen people writing n cross n. So that is totally wrong. Size of the matrix is always m cross n, where n is nothing but number of rows and n is number of columns. Okay. So the size of the matrix would always be represented as m cross n. Now what is there here? Graphical method. Now graphical method can be applied. graphical method can be applied on one condition. What is the condition? Either row or column, okay, any one should be equal to 2. Now you see here, number of columns is 2. You see here, number of rows is 2. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you want to apply the graphical method, either the row or column, any one, this is very, very important. Any one should be equal to 2. It should not be greater. Why? Because your graph has 2 axes. Graph has only x-axis and y-axis. So that is the reason any one should be 2 in number. You will understand it better when I'm taking the problems. When I'm taking the problems, you will understand it better. Okay. And then what is dominance property? Dominance property is a method, or dominance property is a technique where you are going to reduce any higher order matrix. You are going to reduce any higher order matrix into a 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, so dominance property is basically reducing a higher order matrix into a 2 cross 2 matrix. So this is the dominance property. And what is the dominance property for row? What is the dominance property for column? Very, very simple. I will tell it to you so you can understand. When I'm comparing any two rows, if all the elements, okay, if all the elements of one particular row is
Sir,
less
can
than
you explain
or
again the
equal,
dominance property?
அதான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிருக்கேன். You want the first line, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first line is basically a dominance property is used to reduce a higher order matrix into a 2 cross 2 matrix. So if the matrix is like this, okay. So if the matrix is like this, I will use the dominance property and reduce it to a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 3 cross 4. So I'm going to reduce this to this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. So dominance property for row and column is very, very simple. When I'm comparing any two rows, if all the elements of one particular row is less than or equal to all the elements of another row, then I say that the element which is having lesser values is dominated by the row which is having higher values. So I cancel the row which is having lesser values. Now you see here, when I'm comparing any two rows, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, all the elements here are less than all the elements of this row. So what I do, according to row dominance, I strike off this. புரியுதா?
Sir, இன்னொரு வாட்டி சொல்லுங்க சார்.
When all the elements of any particular row is less than or equal to all the elements of another row, say that the row which has lesser values is dominated by the row which has higher values. One, 3, 5, 7. 1 is less than 9. 3 is less than 11. 5 is less than 13. 7 is less than 15. So all the elements in the first row is less than all the elements in the second row. So I strike off this. This row gets eliminated.
Sir, ஒரு டவுட் சார். நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரோ தான் டெலீட் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல தேர்ட் ரோ கூட டெலீட் பண்ணலாமா சார்? இல்ல சார், டாமினன்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணி அப்பர் வேல்யூ தான் கேன்சல் பண்ணுமா இல்ல லோவர் வேல்யூ கூட கேன்சல் பண்ணலாமா?
What is the statement I made in the starting?
less than multiply பண்ணுமா சார்?
When
Use to reduce higher order matrix.
Tappe. I said when listen. I said clearly that when I am comparing any two rows, I can either compare first row, second row, or I can compare second row, third row, or I can compare third row, first row. The concept is very, very simple. What the concept says, I am comparing any two rows.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, இன்னொரு doubt.
Okay, so that is
Yes, sir.
அந்த ரோ அதாவது அந்த எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் கம்பேர் பண்றோம்ல சார், அப்போ வந்து இப்போ செகண்ட் ரோ எடுத்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரோவோட கம்பேர் பண்றோம்னா அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எலிமெண்ட் ஷுட் பி எய்தர் லெஸர் தென் ஆர் ஹையர் தென், அந்த இது ரெஸ்பெக்டிவ் காலம்ஸோட கம்பேர் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல வித் ஈச் எலிமெண்ட் ஆஃப் தட் பர்టిక్యులர் ரோ?
Now you see here, these were the values which was there earlier. Okay. Now this is like this. Okay. Now you see here, this is the mistake which people commit in the examination. Thank you for enlightening me that what they do when I am comparing row 1 with row 2. I am comparing row 1 with row 2. So compare row 1 with row 2. 1 is less than 9. 3 is less than 11. It is not like 1 is less than 9, 11 is less than, 11 is greater than. Don't do that. If you are following some particular procedure, follow it in a steady manner. Comparing row 1 with row 2 means from the top you have to do it, because here it is okay. In some cases it will be like this. So what is the mistake students do is 1 is less than 9, 3 is less than 11, 13 is greater than 5. No, I will take it like this. 5 is less than 13. Wrong. Problem gone. You get the point?
Yes, sir.
So you have to always compare it like this. Or if you are comparing row 2 with row 1, so the arrow mark changes. So it will be like this. So it will be like this. 9 is greater than 1, 11 is greater than 3, 5 is less. Okay. So whenever you are getting a greater than and lesser than, stop it. Because the dominant property has failed. You can't cancel. So it has to be greater. It has to be greater. Okay. So how it has to be greater?
இந்த மாதிரி நம்பர் ஜம்பிள் row 2 and row 3.
Wait. I am not able to listen anything. Please put it in the chat box. Why? Understood, sir. Why can't we strike out the third row? That's the explanation I gave. Any other doubts?
சார், நம்ம இப்போ டாமினன்ஸ் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது சப்போஸ் ஒரு இது வந்து ஃபெயில் ஆயிருச்சு, ஒரு ரோ இன்னொரு ரோ ஃபெயில் ஆயிருச்சு அப்படின்னா நம்ம அதுலயே தேடணுமா சார்? அந்த ரோ அண்ட் காலம்லயே எது டாமினன்ஸ் ப்ராப்பர்ட்டிக்கு மேட்ச் ஆகுதோ அதை கேன்சல் பண்ண பார்க்கணுமா சார்?
I'll give you one example. Okay, well, you want to watch a movie. Okay, you go to one theater. In that theater, you eventually find out that that particular movie is not streaming, but you really want to watch that movie. What do you do?
I'll go for another theater.
Angiya suti nirtiya. Very good. That is what I am telling. When you are comparing any two rows and if some.
Okay, sir.
Huh?
Sir, I think network problem.
Where row kupon? Network problem. Yardu unda yanda.
Endada sir, no problem. You continue sir, no problem.
Right. Okay. Right. So அதுதான் நான் சொல்றேன். நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னா, if you are not getting in any two rows, go to the next row. Why are you waiting there only? Okay. If you are not, there is heavy rain. You are standing in one place. If you are not getting a bus, take an auto. If you are not getting an auto, take car. You will not be standing there itself. No. That is what I am trying to say. If you are not getting any two rows, go to the next row. You have permutation and combination. If you are not getting with row 1, row 2, leave it. Compare row 2, row 3. If you are not getting, leave it. Row 3, row 1. Any one you will get. Any one you will get. Okay. It is like that. So it's 11 o'clock. Okay. Take a break for 15 minutes and we will continue sharp at 15 minutes. Okay. 15. Yeah. 11.
Same link only, sir.
Same link. இதுலயே கண்டினியூ பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
வெப்சைட்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒவ்வொரு கிளாஸுக்கு 4-5 லிங்க் இருக்கு சார். ஒரே டைம் ஒரே சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்கு ஆனா 3-4 லிங்க் கொடுத்திருக்காங்க PCP வெப்சைட்ல. அதுவே கன்ஃபியூஸா இருக்கு.
Okay. Mistakes will happen. சரி, அப்ப குரூப்ல போட்டு சரியா?
இந்த லிங்கா இல்லனா நீங்க நேத்து வாட்ஸ்அப்ல லிங்க் அனுப்புனீங்களே 11:15 to 12 அந்த 11:15 அந்த லிங்க் அதுல இப்போ கமெண்ட்ல போட்டுருக்காங்க
ஏதோ ஒரு லிங்க் நீங்க டக்குன்னு இது பண்ணுங்க சரியா? You decide and tell me. Let me know.
Same link கொடுத்துறோம் சார்.
Same link. சரி, ஓபன் சொல்லுங்க. Okay. So sorry,
one question. இப்போ அவ்வளவுதான் dominance property-யா இல்ல we are ready to still see the remaining part in the next session?
இன்னும் இருக்கு.
இல்ல நம்ம அந்த 2 crossல ரெடியூஸ் பண்ற மாதிரி தான் பார்த்தோம். பட் ஆனா இன்னும் நம்மளுக்கு இன்னும் காலம் வைஸ்ல இருக்கு இல்லையா டேட்டா? அதுக்காக
ஆமா சொல்றேன்.
ஓகே சார்.
குழந்தை மெதுவா தான் வளரும்.
ஓகே.
குழந்தை வந்த உடனே டப்புன்னு என்ன மாதிரி ஆயிடும்னா ஆவாது.
காட் இட் சார்.
சரியா? மெதுவா போலாம். ரைட்? Understand the concept. Right? Okay. So please go and come back. Okay, we will continue at 11:15. Okay, take 5 more minutes extra.
Okay, sir.
Okay? So 11:20 we will continue. Okay, it's already 11:05. Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you.